All right, so the next example here is, or the first thing we're going to see regular expressions used in is something called sed. So sed is a command line option that we have stands for stream editor, and basically it takes input from your command line, can do some modification on it, and then print that to standard output. Now, this is a command line tool. So, for example, if you're using bash in your terminal, you can use it. So this is a good time to show you one of these magic commands. So there's a magic command. It's actually sort of not fully supported, but it works. And you type %sign bash as the first command in your cell, and then everything else in that cell will be executed as a bash command. So this is pretty handy. So if we execute this command here, we're going to use this echo command, and it's going to echo this whole string and store it as this file on our, well, let's do one thing here. So let's go back to our home, open up a new terminal. And I just typed ls, so we can see there's, we'll come back in a second. So we're going to go back to our notebook here, and then hit Shift Enter, and that cell's been executed. So now if we go back to our terminal, we'll see that this file test_regex has now been added, and we can view the contents of that file, and it's just as we added it. So we can do bash things in the notebook, which can be handy. Okay, so you can imagine any of these commands could be executed in the command line, but we're just going to execute them here. So first we're going to do a sed command where we substitute big C, little c with nothing, and we're going to do this. This G at the end of the expression says that we're going to make this change globally. So I'm going to add here. I'll update the notebook in GitHub, so you don't have to worry about any changes that I make. Let me see here. So if we don't add that G, it will only make the change the last time that it's found on the line, or the first time rather. But regardless, our string, we can do here. So this is the file itself. So we're running sed on this file, and we're substituting cc with nothing. So we're removing cc, but if we type the G, it will be done multiple times.
Any way to do anything other than once or all the time? Like you just put a number there and then twice or something?
I can, let's see. I don't think so. If you want to make it, if you want to do something more, yeah, there might be. Typically, when I need to do something more sophisticated with sort of regular expressions in the command line, I'll use Perl, because there's a command line Perl. But yeah, I can look that up. We can find out. I think that there probably is. There's a lot of stuff you can do with this. This is kind of a basic, just some basic functionality. So if instead of just replacing something with an empty string, we want to replace it with a different string. So we're going to replace all the instances of D with Z. We can do this. And if we want to replace the whole string, except for, say, yes, we want to replace the whole string except for this matching part, we can use parentheses. However, with basic out-of-the-box sed, it doesn't recognize those parentheses as having a special meaning. It's actually looking to match parentheses exactly. So that may be what you want, but if in this case we need to escape them. So if we type backslash open parentheses and backslash close parentheses, we will now match those parentheses. So we're basically saying I want to match any character any number of times followed by D, big D, little d any number of times, and replace that with X. So
why does it not care about new lines in that example?
new lines are,
Like, why does it just sub out the first thing this time? Why does it also capture A, B, B, C, 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 C?
this one, wait, oh, here? Yeah. New lines are not part of the of what it's matching instead, because it's just reading like line by line. There's, yeah. Yeah, that's the short answer. The next sort of thing that we've seen is grep. So this, we've seen this before, but this is a way to search for a regular expression and print the matching lines, and that's actually sort of what the acronym comes from: global search for regular expression and print the matching lines. So again, we can use bash. We can print that file. We can, and sorry, I didn't mention, but using sed with this dash capital E, this uses Perl style regular expressions, which basically means that those parentheses have special meaning, and it won't try to match those characters explicitly. It will understand that we're trying to match a yeah, so we're trying to match this special thing. So I noticed this is not a great example because it will match even if what I really wanted was this. So now it's only matching lines that end with one or more big D, little d. But the point is that this issue we had with if I'd remove this dash E, it wouldn't work. It has to. We either need to escape out these parentheses, this grouping character, or we need to use the dash E. So there's a similar option with grep. Grep has a dash E, or you can use a similar function called egrep, which just does the same thing, but it's simpler. So we're going to use that for our grep examples here.
From bash, so say like in that block where it says sed dash E, let's say like right after that I wanted to add a little comment for myself to remind myself to Perl. Is there a way to comment in bash?
Yes, you can comment. So here I could say and it works fine. Yeah. So you can put it on a separate line also. Or you can put it, it has to be after your command. But yeah, that's a good thing to do. I would usually do it like this, but if it's a very short comment, or you have a block of code and you want to comment each line in the block of code, you might put the comment here. So yeah, that's a good question. So if we're going to use egrep this way, we can, again, the syntax can be done either this way, or we can say cat this file and then pipe that to egrep. But I'll show it this way for today. So here we're matching all the lines that match big A, little a. And when we use this bash magic, we don't get the coloring, but we would get coloring of the matching expression on our terminal if we have that set up. So we're matching anything here that matches AA or CC. So we're just printing the lines that match this time. Now here we're trying to match any lines that have big C, little c 3 times. And when we do this, it doesn't work because what we're actually showing here is we're going to match big C once and little c 3 times. So we don't match any lines. But if we wrap that in parentheses, then it does work. Now we can get a little more complicated. We can have a larger expression where we have any character A to Z, and then any character big A to Z, capital A to capital Z, and then followed by lowercase a to lowercase z 3 times. So this, again, it's not going to match these two middle lines, but the rest here all have either C or D in them, three times or more. So it will match. And then this will match only the one that has 5 times or more in it. So the easiest way, as with any of this stuff, but certainly with regular expressions, to learn how these things work is to just play around with it and to print the output and see what works. It's hard to, you can kind of have an idea of what you're going to match and you get better at it with time, but it's definitely better to just play around with it.